Hi guys, it's me again, Rich from Trackspark. Hope everybody's well and looking forward to Christmas. Yes, love a bit of Christmas time. Mulled wine and all the rest of it, turkey, love it. So yeah, hope everyone has a great time and a great new year as well. But let's get on with it, shall we? Right, this month's little tutorial slash tip of the day, tip of the month is directed towards EQing and sort of cleaning up your mix. And the main point I'm trying to make is don't be afraid of cutting. Don't be afraid of getting rid of frequencies. Sorry, in order to firstly clean up your mix and secondly leave room for other elements. Talking about high pass filters, low pass filters, shelving, and just generally, reductive EQ rather than boosting all the time. Nothing wrong with boosting. I boost a lot. I boost all the time. I do boost all the time, but I also cut a lot of stuff out. Think of it as a sock drawer. Your sock drawer at home. There's only so many socks you can put in that sock drawer before it becomes absolutely rammed. So you've either got to take some of your pants out in order to make room for your socks, or stop putting socks in. Basically, that is not my analogy, by the way. It's a good one though. I like it. I saw it on a tutorial a few years ago, but I can't remember whose it was. So apologies for nicking yours, whoever it is there, or not giving you credit. But the other way of looking that I like to look at it is, carving certain frequency elements out, in particular like drum hits or instruments, so that those frequency characters pop out in the mix, but also cutting things away, carving things out to leave room for other elements in the mix. So you sort of carving things around each other to create a bit of a landscape almost, but you're leaving room for each other. A bit like a yin yang, a yin yang sort of carved and fits together perfectly, and you've got a nice black side and a white side that fit together really well. Whereas if you just had a black circle and a white circle plonked on top of each other, it'd just be a grey circle. I'm sure there's a better analogy than that out there, but just came up with that one. Anyway, so I was looking at this project that I've done recently. It's a computer game track, but I noticed that I was doing a lot of filtering just to clean certain elements up. So I just thought it was in the forefront of my mind, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. So instead of me just waffling on for 10 minutes or whatever, I'm just going to play you the track to give you a bit of a breather from my voice and just show you what I'm talking about. So here's the track really quickly. Oh, it's like a bit of an Aztec-y, half-time, dubsteppy vibe type thing, I suppose. But what I'm talking about is, let's have a listen. Cleaning things up. Now, I'm going to look at this deep hits here. Big cavernous deep battle hits or whatever. It's just a loop. Now, if I take this EQ, I've got an EQ, I've got a high pass filter. If I was to take it off, really boomy, and that's clearly going to sort of cross over with my bass drum frequencies and cloud it up. So let's just have a listen without the EQ now. Pretty muddy. Let's put the EQ on. You can see here I boosted quite a bit, but I've also cut a lot of room out, so I've made room for more socks by taking out my pants. Look, right, so let's listen with right, so now we can hear the other low end elements much better in that mix. And that, I suppose, that is a really extreme way of looking at it, But if you apply that theory to to most, you can crossover. You can have crossover frequencies. Obviously, you're always going to get that, but do use this to clean things up as well. On this element, if we bring the control panel up, I've got another high pass filter. I've got another EQ on it. I like sort of doubling up sometimes just to clean. And I've got a low pass filter. It's a less of a gradient there, but still taking out the highs, taking out the lows. I want this sort of mid-range sound for these sort of a cavernous sort of feel. Let's have a listen. So they're really poking through, and I'm not left with any sort of booms or high-end stuff. If I was to look at, say, this is a hi-hat at the top. If I was going to take this EQ, look, I've got another high-pass filter all the way up here. If I was to take it off, you're not going to hear those low-end frequencies in the mix anyway, but if we look at this analyzer, we can see all the frequencies all the way along. Don't need them, so cut them out. Yeah, clean your mix up. And then if we're talking about the carving, things out, if I look at, look, I've got 3 kick drums here, boom, boom, boom. Right, first one's called Clicky Kick. Let's have a listen to it. I've carved all this mid area out, yeah, so it gives it a nice little click at the top. I've boosted a little bit here at sort of 65, so it gives it a nice sort of warm, round, fat sound now. And I've got another kick drum below it, which is punchy. I've called it Punchy Kick. I think it's like a 909 kick, but I don't need loads of the bottom end, so I've cut it out from 90 hertz. Yeah, I've boosted it a bit. I'm cleaning the mix up because I don't need all of that low end. Here's another kick drum that obviously when I was composing the track, I like the sound of. But now I've taken all the low end out and I've just sort of boosted it to get that high end white noisy crunchy sound out of it. I obviously don't need the low frequencies because I'm getting the sort of mid-range punchy ones from this kick, and then from the clicky kick I'm getting the deep ones. So I'm taking each element, I'm taking parts of each kick drum there, even though the third one isn't really working, it's just emphasizing the other kick drums when it hits. I'm taking certain elements from each kick drum that to work around each other. Yeah, and obviously I've just gone through it with drums there, but I apply that theory to all of my instruments. Don't have a really bassy rhythm guitar if you've got a really nice bassy bass guitar. You don't need to overlap on those. Well, you might do, but generally, I wouldn't. There are no rules, obviously, but that will really help you clean your mix up. So don't be afraid of cutting things out. I hope that was useful and made sense. And to those of you who knew it, just a bit of a recap, or those of you who don't, then yeah, there we go. Right, have a good one, guys. Have a great Christmas and New Year, and I'll speak to you in January. Cheers.